Here we go live.
We're live.
We are live.
Welcome everybody on Facebook. Thanks for tuning into this video. In a short moment, we're going to bring through the Pleiadian Council, who is going to speak on these changing windows of energy and how we can ride the waves and, well, everything they say. And then there will be a question and answer session. So if you're tuning in live, you can submit your questions in the box below in the comments, or it's even better if you join the Zoom link, because then we can interact back and forth. And sometimes if you just type a question out, you're going to get a very direct answer that may not kind of explore all of the depth of the nuances that you could explore if we interact live. So what else? When you are in the group, when somebody is really complete with the question, you can wait a few seconds until there's nothing more said, and then you can just unmute yourself and ask your question. Please keep yourself muted at all times when you're not speaking. And what else? So donations are graciously accepted for this. It helps us pay for the Zoom costs and supports us in doing this. So thank you very much. There's some links on the page that you can check out for that.
Yeah, I'm putting links right now on the live video, so there'll be links right there.
Cool. And also, if you don't get the chance to watch this live and you're watching the recording, and if the time zone doesn't work out for you, people who subscribe on Patreon can submit questions in advance for the sessions. So that's another way of participating. Beyond that, I think that's all that I have to say about how this is all working, unless there has anything to add.
Just that I'll be popping in with questions from the online comments on Facebook every once in a while, but we have we kind of give priority to those that are live with us in the room, but I will be coming in with questions from Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, comment, share is all beautiful. Muchas gracias. Here in Guatemala, beautiful lake. Everyone around the world tuning in for this solstice energy. And
Dante, on Venmo, you're at Dante55, right?
55, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hello, and we welcome you this moment of your time to another wondrous interaction together. Again, we are the Pleiadian Council, speaking on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and many other beings of service of light who wish to support your planet through this grand process of ascension that you are all a part of. So thank you for choosing to make this connection, and thank you for choosing all that you do that brings you to feel that greater connection with all that is. Every time you connect deeper with us and with others in that love-based energy, all that is growing and expanding through you. And our great thanks is with you for this. So today, you are experiencing what you know is that solstice point, where the Earth's tilt brings the northern hemisphere the closest it gets to the sun, and the southern hemisphere furthest away it becomes. And you are also experiencing at this time a eclipse, where the moon is blocking out the light of the sun. You can see these eclipses as the moon, your emotional body, coming to cast a shadow before the light so that you can see and feel and witness what may be hidden in the darkness. So what is really hidden in the darkness that you may be coming to experience in your own lives is the ways that you may hold back your own love. As this is an eclipse in that energy of Cancer, not the disease, no. It is unfortunate that you correlate these two things together through that name, because this sign of Cancer is one of the most loving energies of your entire zodiac. And it represents how you nurture each other and nurture yourselves, and how your sensitivity to the bigger energies at work allows you to express love and connection with each other. So here, you may come to ask yourself, where am I cutting off love from myself or from others? Are there people in your society, on your planet, that trigger you in some way? Are there aspects of yourself that you attempt to hide from others, that to see and witness within yourself brings about a fear that causes you to hide, to put on a mask, pun intended? Though, of course, that is something necessary for some of you. Anyway, but as you come to witness, where do you hold back your love? Then you can come to see where you need to focus your love. For whatever you resist outside is only a parallel to what you are resisting inside. And whatever you are resisting inside is the same as what you are resisting outside. For some of you, it may be easier to notice where there is resistance outer, and for others, it may be easier to notice where you have resistance within you. And as you clear that, and as you come to understand, again, what we are always saying is a universal law, all is one and the one is in all, you can come to experience that all of these qualities, all of these negative manifestations in your society and perhaps within your own inner reality are teachings of how you can better experience oneness by letting go of your fear, dropping your resistance, and coming to love everything that is and could be. And this is the energy that is going to heal the great divisiveness in your world at the time. So, as we have said, if you have followed us for some time, there is a splitting between those who are choosing a love-based reality and those who are choosing a fear-based reality. As you choose the love-based reality, you manifest that as the entire earth plane gradually over periods of time, as you come to more and more decision points that manifest as splitting in the roads where you continuously choose the love-based direction. Eventually, your whole world will come to reflect the choices you are making in love. And this splitting is occurring as others are choosing
Yeah.
Please mute yourself, whoever that was. That is very funny for all of you, and we enjoy it to an extent, but let us continue. So those are who are choosing the fear-based pathway.
What the
will spread off
What the fuck?
and
Spinning your chocolate, chocolate,
Sarah, could
We are
we mute?
transferring.
Okay,
Okay, we are
so
live.
welcome back. We're hoping we don't get Zoom bombed again. We're in a bubble of light and love that's
Please
keeping
let
us
it be
clear.
so.
And I'm just going to turn back on to the Pleiadians.
Yeah, I'll find out what they
The
have to
only
say.
thing unclear is the frequency of the audio. My audio?
I'm hearing you just fine.
Energy-wise, okay. My
Yeah.
lighting looks fine. My audio seems fine.
Yeah, you look totally fine.
Okay. It might even be better if I turn off the overhead light, but now
So
we're
just
getting to...
bringing this transharmonic pillar of protective light.
I'm not going to turn off the overhead light. I think it's great. Okay.
Sanctuary of our Zoom room, protected by this light.
Hello, and we are returning now. Well, what a synchronistic interruption as we were speaking of those sorts of forces that may trigger you.
God.
And if this brings something up for you, that's something to look at. Now, even those who are operating in that fear-based state are part of the one, and they are, in that sense, part of you. And so, well, there are small-scale pranksters, and there are big pranks that are playing out in your collective. And you can be triggered by these events, or you can, again, do what you are able to do to center yourselves in that frequency of love. So, the future of your planet is one that will be very changing, very transformative. And this eclipse now is a sowing point for the new Earth that you are creating, and also a point to, in a sense, prepare yourselves for those challenges that may be coming. For many of you, you have been doing things the same or a similar way much of your lives. And now the invitation is to allow yourself to break out of the routine. Allow yourselves to see that every new challenge will bring a new way for you to experience love, joy, and connection. And of all, this is the most important energy to cultivate for your alignment in the new earth. So again, the division between those choosing a love-based reality and those choosing a fear-based reality. Many years down the road, eventually your planet, as you make the choices that align with love at every decision point you have, will no longer be available for fear-based energies to play out. Though even when you reach that point, the deeper you go into this love-based energy, the more you will understand that there is no real separation between you choosing love and those who are choosing fear. And this is something that you may come to experience and understand at these times already. While this splitting is occurring, at another level, you are one with those who are choosing to split off. And when you otherify them in some way, by making them sheeple or zombies or muggles, or, well, these are some of the terms that the channel has heard people calling those who are not choosing this full love-based reality yet. And those terms, in a way, keep you in a separate consciousness, in a spiritual ego of sorts. And you will see more and more how that spiritual ego subtly undermines your ability to stay centered when things become more chaotic. Going beyond ego is going into an all-encompassing state where you see yourselves as even those who are the most distraught and harmful in your world. You see that you have the same potential to behave that way, and that there is no difference, as all is one. Well, there is a difference, of course, but there is no separation. What we mean to say. There's a vast difference, but that difference does not create a true separateness. So being able, again, to be centered in your heart and see all as one will be very helpful, because in the times to come, you are going to see the fear-based energies attempt to hook many. It is much like parasites when they die off. When they are disappearing and dying, fading away, they cause many more symptoms than before you knew you had parasites. Before you knew, they were lying dormant, and they were, in a way, subtly undermining you, and you were still going about business as normal. And then when you realize perhaps there's something lurking in the background, and you take the steps to purge those parasites from your system, there is a die-off phenomena that creates a strong reaction in the body. And in the sense, this is what is occurring on your planet now. The light coming in is increasing the vibration and increasing the awareness of everybody, and the energetic parasites and the ways that they have hooked onto many is creating a die-off reaction of fear and projection. So you must not buy into those experiences. You must, in a way, remain neutral. When something triggers an emotional reaction in you, it is important to be able to see the good and the bad in it and accept that as something that is occurring, in order to then first come into a neutral centered heart space where you are able to tap into love and freedom in spite of it, and then make choices and make statements that come to truly align with the most love-based pathway. For you can, in a way, feed into the fear, and you can feed those parasites by judging, or you can bring them to release more by loving and accepting. And again, we'll turn back to the energy of this eclipse. It much aligns with that Cancer vibration. And you'll have your Mercury in retrograde through Cancer for quite some time. And it is, again, a time for you to reevaluate the ways that you love and nurture yourselves and each other, understanding that your state of being is more important than anything else. And when you nourish yourself to create a high frequency state of being, you will be unshakable. And disturbances, whether they are of a minor scale like we experience now, or a major scale, will not have the same effect on your energy body or your nervous system. And you will become stronger, more immune, and that energy will then ripple out from you. So that is our message for today. And we hope that through this evening, you can take time to drop into your heart and extend the vibration of forgiveness to anyone and anything in your world that may trigger you. Extend the vibration of neutrality to any issue that makes you feel divided and brings divided consciousness in those around you. And as you drop deeper behind those emotional reactions, you come to the core of your heart where you are always and always have been connected to Source. And as you come to allow that unconditional love in, your heart will guide you exactly to the ways that you may best nurture yourselves and nurture those around you. And understand that all of the love that you give is returned to you from some sources. So be open with your heart at this time and celebrate your life, knowing that the restrictions in place can create a tensity around your life to some extent. Yet the natural joy in celebrating the experiences you have will support you very much, especially in connecting with nature. You can feel the frequency of nature raising more and more all the time. You can feel the subtle vibrations within these natural places and the spirits behind them coming closer to you all the time if you simply drop in and simply allow their connection to be made and come to you. This is a place to celebrate. You can find so much solace and joy in many natural temples around your world. And if you have the ability to tune into such a place during the experience of this eclipse this evening, you may find the nature spirits have a special gift for you at this time. So our great thanks and love to each and every one of you. And now we ask you, how can we support you individually and collectively through the reflections and sharings you wish to engage with us?
So I see a question from Mehul. Mehul says that he is confused about his spirit guides. What's currently going on in my life since I want to ask the Pleiadians to ask my spirit guides what's currently going on in my life since I'm confused. Okay. Kind of
All
vague,
right.
but yeah.
Well, generally, this energy of confusion prevents you from really tapping into your spirit guides. And they wish to reach you, though you must, in a way, break free from this mental fog first. So when you really attempt to figure out what's going on out there and wish to come to a definitive conclusion, it can over exhaust your mental body. And when you are in that exhausted state mentally, you cannot receive these higher vibrations that your guides and many others wish to share. So our encouragement for you is to let go more and instead direct your focus to those ways that you can really care for yourself, that you can develop talents, that you can experience what healing means for you and for others. And in this way, your guides can start to meet you more precisely.
Great. Thanks so much.
Yes.
Okay, guys, you can unmute yourselves. Alyssa, would you like to ask a question?
Yes. Okay. One more. Okay. Hi, Pleiadians.
Hello, yes.
Thank you so much for opening the space for communicating with us. And I do have a little bit a bigger question that feels really important for me, and I do need to explain it a little bit for it to make sense.
Right.
Is this okay? Okay.
Yes, that is fine.
Thank you, guys. So a few days ago, I had a really, really strong and powerful dream in that me and my friend Tess went to Mount Shasta before the solstice to do some sort of activation ceremony for the land. And it was something with the water that is contaminated by whatever forces. And we were like protecting the water with the ceremony. And I woke up and I told my friend Tess, and she's like, oh my God, you had this dream. Like I literally had the same vision, like with my friend, and we like know that you need to be a part of it. And so we wanted to go there before the solstice. And then the van broke down, and now we are renting a van, but we're not able to go before solstice. And now my friend said, oh, we stay in solstice for the solstice in Nevada City, and then we go to Mount Shasta in the eclipse. And as she said that, I had such a weird feeling of traveling in the eclipse, and it just felt so bad. I felt like something really bad is going to happen when we would do it. And then I communicated also with my teacher, and in his oracle, he saw the same, that like when we go, there would be like a huge challenge and something with the police or something like that. And then today in the night, I had a dream. I was asking my dreams for guidance. And in my dream, I was swimming and there was a shark and I couldn't escape the shark. And so I really want to go to Mount Shasta and do that, but I'm not sure if it's good to go in the eclipse. And I really want to ask you for guidance if you think that we will be safe. Oh, okay, there is another piece to it. Okay, so I also received a message that it could be possible for us to drive around the cities and kind of like drive more in nature way and just speak lots of prayers of protection. So I want to know that if we drive the other way, that is not going through so many cities and we're like working a lot on protection, will we be safe to go on Sunday, or what do you see?
All right, well, this premonition you experience can be that tool to help you direct towards another path.
This
and
mission?
The premonition, the dream, we mean.
Oh.
Yes, so if you did choose to go through a more natural route, you would have a safer journey, though continue to listen to that intuitive gut feeling, because if there is a fear arising, there will be something interfering. You are tapping into a layer of potentiality. So if you can be open, again, to how you feel as you are feeling it, you will know if and when it is right to really go.
Okay, so like the guidance is to just continue to listen to the intuition, and
Yes.
so like there is like no, oh, we're going to be safe when we take the route, because it's all like we're creating it through whatever we fear, of whatever I fear.
Well, yes, you are creating it through what you are feeling. So again, notice how your intuition moves and simply trust that core feeling. And again, understand that wherever you are in a high frequency energy when you choose to be. And so going to these sites does not have to be aligned with these events. It can be, and that can amplify experiences, though understand that you can draw energy from that center without being there physically.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So we could do the ceremony with a river that is here, that is connecting to Mount Shasta.
Yes, most certainly.
Okay. Okay. I'm still confused. Any more guidance on that to be more clear?
Again, do you understand that everything is here and now? So you can make connection with any energy center on your planet from wherever you are, much in the same way that, well, we are not landing physically on your planet, yet we are making connection with you, and you are learning to make connection with us very far from the stars. So if it is true that you can make connection with us so far away that you could make connection with all of the consciousness and the beings present at a mountain that's perhaps a couple 100 miles away.
Okay, cool. Nice. Thank you so much. And I do have another question, but I do it later when there's space to do it again. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
Thank you, Alyssa. Christina, do you want to ask your question?
Yes, sure. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Ah, perfect. Hey, dear ones. Hey, Pleiadians.
Hello, yes, welcome.
Well, in my case, I have like two questions. One is like a general question, like a clarification question. Maybe other people are interested about the first question. And the second question is kind of personal for me.
All right.
So the first question is about the reason, the reason we are here is like, do we have like a soul purpose? It's like each individual has like a unique purpose, or like we just need to wake up and remember that we're like a sovereign self, remember our sovereign self and assist for the growing of the vibration. It's like, I've read the transcript from an interview with an alien, and that alien was saying that we are here on this earth in a prison, like we are trapped. So basically, I've got lots of information from several sources, and at the moment I feel kind of, lots of the information like piling up. So maybe you can clarify that,
The purpose of your existence is to be yourself.
Okay.
It's very simple. It is to be exactly who you are. And you can explore this to understand that there are many ways that your society and your planetary agreements at the present moment prevent you from naturally expressing yourself and being who you are. And so, in the sense, if your purpose is to be yourself, the greatest way to achieve that is to shed all of the limiting conditions and belief systems that prevent you from fully expressing your most authentic self. So expanding this to see it from another perspective, again, if all is one and the one is in all, you manifest as a unique and distinct aspect of creation as a human, is so that source can know itself through you. So by being fully yourself, you awaken to the understanding that you are source. You are one with source, and you could never be separate from source. And by many unique and distinct aspects of all that is, coming to realize, I am source, then source has more of a clear expression of itself. It has a pathway to unfold as itself, because before there was any existence, source was non-manifest. It was awareness without any consciousness and form. And the experiment of creation was for source to manifest into an infinite amount of potential experiences, and to see how all of these experiences and beings could become self-conscious. So your purpose is therefore to be yourself, and as you allow more of yourself to naturally express through following your passion and joy, then you realize that you are source in a body, and you help others come through that understanding and experience. And this is not to say that this is something that will be complete in this lifetime. It will continue. It continues infinitely. For in a sense, we know ourselves very much to be source, yet we continue to serve. For as we come to meet many other consciousness forms in many dimensions, our connection to source in turn expands very much as well. So we are still evolving and growing through the same process that you are, at a much different level in a much different way. And also, well, this idea that this is a prison planet is a bit of a distortion, because, well, this is a planet of density, but there are planets of greater density. And you could say that if you have a strong memory or vibration akin to a lighter, easeful planet, this planet can feel constrictive. So there are some beings who may interpret it to be like a prison. Yet this is actually the greatest opportunity. To be on your physical planet is a wonderful opportunity, as when you understand that the greatest adversities bring out the greatest strengths, and the greatest challenges allow for the greatest transformation. And when you are in a constricted place and you move from constriction into freedom, you are able to have much more appreciation and joy within that freedom. So we consider this time on your planet a very wondrous gift, a very important time, and all of the souls are here because, well, you really wanted powerfully to have this experience of transformation, even though sometimes it may seem as if you forget that.
Okay, so do we have like a blueprint, like a soul pattern, soul purpose when we decide to come here?
Yes,
Or
though
just
even that is subject
ourselves?
to change.
Mm-hmm.
When you come to be able to interact with your soul, and that is meant to be a bit paradoxical, because at the same time you are your soul. Though when you can come to interact with that higher dimensional aspect of it, you can change your soul purpose.
Makes sense. Yes, thank you. So regarding the second question, is kind of a little bit personal, because at the moment I'm feeling like, all over the place. Like
All right.
like my life is changing, and it's hard for me. Why I'm feeling stuck? It's like I cannot choose just a tool. I like undecisive. I cannot just, I don't know. It's like there are so many things you can do, but I cannot just pick one. Okay, I have to do, either I'm doing Reiki, either I'm doing channeling, or either should I do healing, or either just go teach, or either it's like I'm
Well, there is
so
no need to choose just
overwhelmed.
one. It is very wonderful to choose all of them.
It's like, yeah, but how
Again,
can you,
that is,
it has to click with you, I have to have that feeling.
yes, we understand. And sometimes bigger experiences and pathways of soul development do not click until you have tried out so many different tools. It is a process of trial and error for many of you, where you experiment with something and you learn something from it. And those lessons then allow you to be more adept at the next thing that you are practicing. So it is important to allow for this process to bring you from one pathway to another. Now, this is again part of the limited conditioning of your world, that your world has in a way conditioned you to be specialists when more of you are actually generalists. So your education makes you think that you have to be an expert at one thing, and that is the only thing that is reputable and worthy. And in actuality, you will serve better to know much about many, many different things. And again, understanding this concept of holism, that every part of the whole is connected to every other part of the whole, you can come to see that learning one experience is going to bring you understanding for the other experience. And really, again, all we say is that it is about your passion, it is about your love. And so if you love to do something, it is serving you and it is serving your soul purpose, because by being in an impassioned and empowered and loving state, you come closest to, again, being yourself, knowing yourself fully.
Okay. So I'll still be working on that. Then I have to manifest, because it's like I'm on air, trying different kind of things, but not exactly doing, like working, practicing, just reading, doing lots of webinars, talking with people, but not exactly practicing, So maybe I have
what
to
is
do that.
preventing you from practicing?
Fear, maybe.
All right. Yes. Well, what could you be afraid of? What could go wrong if you practice and put all of these tools and this knowledge to use?
I think it's like a belief. You have to do it perfectly, or you have to know how to do it, but that's wrong, I guess. You just have to do it, and you have just to make the first step.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the first step leads to the next step. And then the more you keep taking steps, you've climbed up the whole staircase, and time has passed so effortlessly because you entered into the flow. And your whole life can be lived in that way the more you become comfortable confronting the fear. Because again, in this world, the language of physical reality, and therefore the language of manifestation, is action. And you cannot manifest without taking action.
True. Appreciate for your insights. Thank you so much.
Oh, great. Thanks and love to you as well.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Dante?
Yes.
Heather has a question. I just want to tell you, make sure your microphone, or Pleiadians, make sure Dante's microphone is in his beard. It's knocking up against his necklace.
Is it clicking?
It's clicking again. That's better. Okay.
All right.
Heather?
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Hello, yes.
Oh, excellent. Hello, Pleiadians. Thank you for taking my question.
Hello,
I
yes,
was wondering.
We welcome you.
Oh, thank you. I've been thinking a lot about fifth dimensional chakras, and my guides have had me learning about them. And I was wondering if you could do a quick tune in to me energetically and sense them, to give me a little bit of feedback on them.
Yes.
And also, if you could speak to them, I see them as like hive clusters that come down into a channel in a pillar of light. So I don't believe they're individual chakras at that level. Are they a collective chakra?
Yes, at higher levels, the chakras in a way do condense and merge with each other. So you can consider your heart and your solar plexus become one, your second chakra and your root become one, and your upper three chakras become one, moving from 7 to 3. And then even at higher levels, they all merge into just one chakra. Though, again, you are existing at all of these different levels. So you will always have the 7 and then those higher levels of expression. And so this transition you are making is in a way bringing that merging to take place. What you are feeling is your chakras being able to merge and unify more smoothly. And well, as we see your energy, it is progressing quite well.
Thank you. I'm sensing, I think it might be related to fifth dimensional energy that's trapped in my system, in my feminine side, in the hip, very deep. And I've been trying to get it able to release with massage, but it's like it's just still sitting in my hips. Can you guide me on that?
Yes. It is in your left hip? Or both hips?
Well, today it's both hips, but typically this new feeling is deep in my left side, in the hip, at the bone level almost.
All right. We can have some suggestions at every level. And at the level of emotion and action, you could say, well, it does have a lot to do with being able to take action. So in a way, your feminine energy is very strong, and the pain is not expressing something imbalanced with your feminine energy. It's simply asking you to bring a union between the feminine and masculine energy, so that all of these transmissions and the wisdom that you receive can also be enacted out into your world, and you can bring that powerful creative energy to others. So there may be some work to do in expressing even more creatively and allowing that to take a more professional flavor, or simply sharing it more, and also understanding and being empowered in seeing the full validity and importance of your work, understanding if you love to do it, there are many who need it. So more of that action will truly help. The massage is good and you can continue. And also we would suggest to do some gentle Qigong exercises where you stand with your feet firmly against the ground and your knees gently bent and your spine aligned, and rotate your hips in circular motions. You can start with 3 to 5 minutes, counterclockwise then clockwise, and increase from there. And this can get you into the sense of the flow of life, allowing your pelvis to move in that way. And it is all right if you encounter more pain as you go through the process, but gradually that energy will move and you can feel anything that is stuck moving up to these higher centers, and this creative energy coming to manifest through you in even more pronounced and powerful ways.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very helpful. I have another question to ask, but I'll wait till later. Thank you.
All right, well, we thank you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Laurel, are you there? Do you have a question? If Laurel's not there, then Ivy can go ahead and ask a question.
All right.
Where is everybody? Okay.
Hi.
Who is
Hello,
that?
yes.
This is Ivy.
Hi, Ivy. Great.
Hi. Hi, Pleiadians.
Hello,
My
welcome.
question is, it's sort of a two-part question. Any like medium or channeler that I've ever spoken to has always told me that I am connected to the faerie realm. And
Yes.
I sort of knew that, but I wanted to, I just wanted to know if you could expand a little bit more on what that connection means, and how to cultivate it a little bit more, how to open up the lines of communication, or if there's any messages that want to come through.
Oh, yes. So well, what this connection means is that your soul is generally aligning with the souls from that fairy realm, and the energy can bleed through from those realms. Some of those qualities and traits can manifest in your own personality, and there is a sort of playful and nature-based energy wanting to emerge through you. So, well, you can understand that these fairies are quite literally everywhere, for they do not exist in a physical dimension at all. Yet there is a state of consciousness that you can reach, a dimension that you can perceive within that state of consciousness as well, where you can interact with this realm. And these beings may actually blur the electromagnetic spectrum around you to manifest in some forms, or use natural phenomena like tree branches and leaves to create faces and shapes to interact with you. Now, the best way to go about this interaction is to, first of all, open your imagination. Understand that your imagination is the window to allow for these higher sensory perceptions to open, and that you have to, in a way, transcend this idea, part of the conditioning that says you are making things up, and trusting those natural images and ideas that come to you. And if you have to, in a way, visualize something first to lay a blueprint out so that your imagination and consciousness can then fill in the gaps, that is a perfectly fine way to make connection. So you will be able to interact with them the best in nature, and you can, in a way, find some different crystals and metals, and especially with the metals, if they are natural and not shaped by man in some way, they are going to be more attractive to the fairy realm. Bring them out into a place in nature and simply meditate on your sensory experience. Do not do a sort of Eastern, as you say, meditation in which you attempt to obliterate your thoughts or anything else, but allow yourself to focus on perhaps the sound of your breath, the sound of the river, or the sound of water, the sound of the wind, and the leaves rustling in it. And I'll just allow yourself to daydream while you focus upon all of those natural phenomena around you. If you are called to sing or journal while you do this, that is fine. And invite them in with your consciousness. Say, oh, dear fairy realm, I would like to meet you in some way. I would like to feel you in some way. Can you please show yourselves to me? And as you do this, it may manifest as a feeling or a sensation in your body or in your being. Or again, there may be an image that crops into your mind or something that you see flickering in the leaves around you. And trust that experience. It'll grow gradually over time. And if you bring those crystals or metals or anything of that nature with you, you can know that you can invite the fairies to come into those objects and then travel with you, so that even when you go home, you can again open up to those realms by placing them somewhere close to you where you can see them and look upon them, and know that they are sometimes like homes that are temporary places where these fairies or other beings can reside to open up to greater contact with you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another part of that question was, I seem to have, especially recently, been having these very interesting experiences and interactions with animals. And
Yes.
some of the interactions are very beautiful and like soulmate relationships. And then
Yes.
some of the interactions have been not so lovely. Some of them have been scary.
All right.
And I was wondering if this was connected to kind of the fairy realm, or if there was some reason that I was having these more strange and sometimes beautiful interactions with animals that are coming into my life.
They are very much connected in the sense that they are nature spirits, and the animals have, as you know, that spirit animal level of their consciousness, a collective consciousness behind each animal species that you can come to communicate with. And one teaching of the animal world is that of the beauty and simultaneously harshness of the experience of being incarnate in a body in general. So sometimes the animals can come to reflect to you where you have resistances to embracing that, or where you may be, in a way, letting your guard down and expecting the best without also protecting yourself from that lower nature within yourself and within others.
Mm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Oh, yes, our thanks to you. Something else?
No, that's it.
All right, our great thanks and love to you as well.
Okay, we're trying to find Laurel. Laurel, are you able to get your microphone unmuted? I don't hear her. She's probably going to have to type in her question.
All right.
The other one, are you there, Laurel? So I had a question from Daniel. It's about the animal, the scorpion,
Yes.
being his spirit guide, and he was wondering if he manifested these scorpion dreams or visions or interactions, or if it came from his spirit guides.
Well, yes, it's both.
Yeah.
It's a co-creation. And so everything is co-created. Anything that you manifest, the others are co-manifesting it. So you are never alone in what you are manifesting.
Okay.
And yes, you must come to understand this, because many people have some sense that, well, why did I create this? If I create my reality, did I do something wrong? Well, yes, you lined up vibrationally with it, but you have to understand that everybody else also lined up vibrationally with it. And in this sense, in the spirit realm, yes, the spirit was very interested in you, and your vibration was becoming compatible to meet it. And the scorpion has much to teach you about healing and protection, about going deep within, and understanding the union of that primal nature and your higher nature within the shadows. And of course, climbing to new heights is also an aspect of the scorpion. You may find that they very much enjoy climbing far up above your bed and taunting you up there.
That's funny. That's kind of scary. Okay. So I know that Tess, do you have a question? Do you want to unmute yourself and ask it, or do you want to write it in the chat? Either one, I can assist you with that. Otherwise, Heather, would you like to ask your second question?
Sure, I can ask my second question.
Okay.
We recently went deep sea fishing, and it was for my son's birthday, and it was me and my children and my brother. And the funniest thing happened is my daughter and my son, who are both cancers, and I slept almost through the whole thing. And afterwards, I feel like there were 3 of us asleep and 3 of us fishing, but the ones awake kept asking to go deeper in the ocean and fish deeper, and it was all about going deeper into more treacherous water. And after we came home, I almost feel like we were doing some work for this eclipse and solstice. While the other ones were doing work on the surface, we were doing work beneath the surface. That's my question, if you could tune into that.
Oh, yes. Well, that is a beautiful metaphor you created for, in a way, diving deep. And yes, understand that when you are sleeping, in a way, you are more awake in the spirit world. And so sometimes the deepest transmissions you experience are in your sleep state. And by, in a way, sleeping above the deep water, you were connecting at a deeper level to your unconscious than you would if you were, in a sense, sleeping in your normal environment. So there were some certain transmissions that occurred for you there. And while others were, again, tapping in their own conscious way, you were tapping in that unconscious way to bring greater self-awareness to what is the most deep.
Thank you. And the second part is we're supposed to be going to French Polynesia in September to swim with the whales. And I feel like if we go, we'll be stuck there for a while. Can you tune into that?
What was the place you mentioned again?
Morea?
All right. Yes, there is a slight chance that that is the case if you do go there, that you may be stuck there. But if that is what really manifested, we would see you enjoying that very much. It may be a bit uprooting at first for some members of your family, though you may find that that adjustment allows you to be in a very powerful energy center for certain transmissions to occur in these times. So we wouldn't fear it, no.
No, I think I would quite enjoy it, actually.
Yes.
What worries me is I'm trying to sell my inn and spa and manifesting it quickly, but I feel like that's where I feel like I'm stuck there. It's taking all of my energy that I want to put somewhere else, and I don't exactly know how to disconnect even more without causing it to fail or call in the right person to take it.
There are many opportunities still on the way, so you do have the chance to sell it before you go on the trip. So we would encourage you in your meditations to imagine yourself in this exotic location, having already sold your whole spa, and imagine what that feels like. Get a sense of the relaxation and the ease. And the way you can tap into that vibration and allow that to rest into your being and into your body, the more likely you are to attract this. So be open. There is a great probability that you can do this before you go.
Well, thank you. That's all the questions I had. I love you.
Oh, we love you as well, and we thank you very much for interacting and sharing your light with us all here today.
Hi, it's Tessia. Am I able to ask my question now?
Hello, yes, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you, Pleiadians, for having me and for your beautiful service. What I wanted to ask was, I believe that a lot of infiltration has happened with the light workers, and I feel a lot of those that are of the light are in fear surrounding things like vaccines and 5G especially. But I've also been given the guidance that 5G will only be harmful if you believe it to be harmful. And if you believe that it can't harm you at all, then you're sort of protected and it can't do any damage to you. And those that are in fear and believe that it will harm them will, in fact, be harmed by it. Is this true?
Yes. Yes, this is leading to a more complete truth about it. Well, there is an impact the technology has on you. They'll understand that your body can adjust to it. And for many at first, that impact will be greater, though understand again, there's a placebo effect, there's a nocebo effect. And so what so many people are experiencing, especially with the idea of Wi-Fi, which has been around for so long, and you have all adjusted to it by this point. what people are experiencing is this nocebo effect. They are hearing this and this is bad, and so they are believing that and generating that experience in their body. And simply by focusing on beliefs that you can handle and you can integrate it, you will mitigate that. And of course, there are these natural tools like orgonite and certain crystals that deflect electromagnetic fields. And actually, many of these do really work, especially this idea of the purple plate. You can prove that this works. This deflects electromagnetic fields. And this can be a useful permission slip to help some who are really experiencing an intense electromagnetic sensitivity. Though some of these tools, they work more through, again, the placebo effect. People are believing it's working, and they are enamored by the beauty of that fine piece of art that does have quite a vibrating and powerful energy. And that supports them in, again, believing that energy is being transmuted. So these are helpful tools. And yes, well, you will have to do some adjustment to the 5G. It will take some time for most of you to really experience that. The 5G is, at this point, not tuned in that well, and your science will discover a more harmonious frequency to tune it to that will have less of an effect. But even if they didn't change the frequency at all, you would with time adjust to the frequency of the 5G.
Would it be helpful to plant and bury orgonite, like big pieces of orgonite around these towers? Would it help to deflect some of the damage to those that aren't aware of it or that don't know about it?
Yes, that would be helpful. And it would, of course, help those who are choosing to engage with that tool and permission slip as well.
Awesome, thank you. And sorry, I have
Yes.
one more question. We've been also told things that that Bill Gates has put the vaccine in a mosquito, and that mosquito has been let loose, and that a lot of people are going to get this vaccine and it's going to be extremely harmful for them. And I know a lot of people won't choose to have it, but a lot of people will choose to have it. Is there anything that we can do to help this situation?
Well, again, this is an idea of the fear-based mindset here, because it is impossible for mosquitoes to spread vaccinations. They can't do that. We hope that part is clear. We can say a bit more about this idea of vaccinations. Now, without saying too much, there is some validity to understanding that those who are creating this whole idea of vaccinations at this large scale are not really in alignment with the best interests of all, but they do believe that they are in alignment with the best interests of all. So there is less of an evil agenda there, but there is a great deal of misinformation and misunderstanding that is informing this movement, because they are certainly putting in many ingredients into vaccines that are not compatible with the human body. And for some individuals to have these vaccinations not having a high degree of heavy metals already in their system, nothing will happen. Though for the newer souls who have perhaps already been infiltrated with much heavy metals from other vaccinations and other things that you are now supposing are good for you but are really a bit damaging, this vaccination could cause serious problems. Many of these vaccines have not really been fully researched, and there is a great deal of, well, misinformed attempts at helping and serving that are actually causing great harm through this idea of Bill Gates and affiliated entities. So be careful. And of course, vaccinations in general have not really been that harmful up until the point that they began to put things that are harmful for the human body in you. It is simply a degree to which how much toxicity can you handle. And the toxicity on your planet is going up and up and up. So there will be many more reactions to this toxicity. And it is nothing that you cannot adapt to, but you must, again, take the necessary measures to detox, to remove heavy metals, to connect deeper with the earth and reduce this inflammation and toxicity in your body, because there could be some serious issues associated with this. Now, there is a fear-based mindset around the idea of mandatory vaccinations, because you must understand that while they may attempt to do this for many people, you can revoke consent, you can avoid getting the vaccination yourself. It may limit your ability to travel in some timelines of your future Earth. And of course, it is important to speak up that you do not wish vaccines to be mandatory, though many people are living in fear, and many people are living in conflict, and many people are fighting against each other over this idea and over many ideas. So it is important to see the good and the bad here. The idea of vaccines in general is helpful. What they are putting in vaccines is not that helpful. And well, beyond all of this, you must understand that the cause of disease is a disruption between humans and your environment. Thinking back to the bubonic plague, the dirtiness was allowing for these rats and other sorts of critters to spread this disease. And now there is a new level of dirtiness. There is a new level of filth. And it is, in a way, this greed that pushes people to extremes, to overexhaustion, to depletion of natural resources, to destruction of environments that then allows diseases that were contained by those environments to escape and to affect new populations and new species. And of course, many of these vaccinations are for diseases that would be prevented if you had this idea of clean water for everyone, if you distributed your resources in a way where you guaranteed everyone had clean water and no one had to drink this polluted water, and you did what you could to, again, reduce that infiltration of mosquitoes that carry diseases by decreasing pollution, diseases would not be spreading the way that they are, and there would be no need for vaccinations at all. And so if somebody was really well informed, they would understand this. And if somebody was really truly aligned with the benefit of everyone, they would perhaps feed them and hydrate them and purify their environment before vaccinating them. This is our perspective on this issue.
Thank you very much. That was super helpful and really resonated with me. Thank you so much for your service, Pleiadians and Dante. So much gratitude.
Oh, our unconditional love and gratitude to you as well.
Thank you so much. So Laurel's typed a question here. She says, what's the difference between an imprint and an implant? She's been reading the first Cryon book and is a bit confused.
All right. Well, in general, an imprint is made every time you do something. So, for example, when you play the guitar, you imprint your energy field in a way that you can pick up the guitar again and go through that same song in an easier way. And so this occurs also with emotional interactions. When you give your power away, it leaves an imprint of being open and vulnerable to being drained emotionally. When you stand for your truth and you give of yourself and you also create boundaries, that imprints in your field a stronger vibrational energy that allows you to continue to behave in that way. Likewise, if there is trauma, it leaves an imprint of that trauma in your energetic field that can cause you to respond to events that are not threatening as if you were about to be attacked or traumatized again. An implant is something that is vibrationally gifted or forced upon you in different senses. So there are positive and more malevolent implants. And for the most part at this point in your history, there are generally only positive implants that are coming. And they are something that you receive when you interact with higher consciousness forms. At one point, there was a degree of physicality to them when humans had their first interactions with the Greys. At this point, they are purely non-physical and exist at an etheric level that affects your spiritual and human DNA. And so when you have this interaction with higher consciousness forms, you receive implants. They are gifts that then affect your consciousness to behave in certain ways and allow you to continue to have that connection to these higher consciousness forms continuously. So this is our perspective on this, and we understand that through other channels and through other teachers, there may be more specific instructions as to how these things are co-created in your world. And those are also valid in their right.
I have a question. It's about the book called Think and Grow Rich by the author Napoleon Hill, where
Yes.
it talks about the power of deciding on a specific amount of money to manifest, which I've had the experience that has worked very well at times and other times not so much. So I'm curious what your read is, how that works versus the thing about following your passion and not having any particular outcome that you're attached to.
Well, you tell us, what is the difference between the times that saying I'm going to have this amount of money worked and what are the times that it didn't work? What's the difference between them?
Well, that's a really good question, obviously. But what I've been thinking about is that I recognize that the times it's been worked, I have been passionate about it, and
Yes.
my own intuition is that it's because of that positive focus,
Yes.
and it's still been very, very specific, versus not being dependent on any given outcome. I felt the time that it's succeeded, I have been very attached, but in a positive way, I'd say.
In the times it succeeded, you were attached in a positive way.
Yeah, maybe attached is not the right word, but I was
You
really,
were
really focused on it.
you were very focused on it. You were committed to it, you could say.
Yes.
All right. That is a more accurate word. Commitment. Commitment engenders luck. For whenever you put all of yourself into something, it is like a signal to the universe that you are really truly dedicated to following that path, and you will do everything you can to make sure that it manifests. So that is one side of the equation. And the other part of the equation that is equally important is having no insistence on how, when, and who the manifestation comes through. So again, when you have that energy of desperation or insisting that it has to happen a certain way or through a certain person or by a certain time, that generates a fear-based energy that can distort your passion. So the more that you put all of yourself into it, what the Bashar says in that formula, following your passion to the best of your ability, and then having no insistence on the outcome, it really guarantees success. And yes, you can play with this idea of having specific parameters. I want to manifest this amount of money, or this kind of a person, or this kind of an opportunity. And again, simply do everything that you can think of that aligns with getting that specific result, but understand that sometimes the path may diverge and lead you to a better opportunity. So be open to it changing.
Yes, and what I've also have preferred to do is to sort of infuse the specific goal with the intent of using it as a platform of getting to know myself more than where I was currently at.
Yes, that will serve you quite well as well, because again, the whole purpose of your being is to be yourself and know yourself.
Okay, thank you.
And that is essentially the purpose behind why you would manifest everything. Every new manifestation allows you to be yourself in a new way.
Mm. Very cool, thank you.
Oh, a great thanks and love to you as well.
Great. Let's see, is there anyone who has a question who hasn't asked a question yet? If not, we have some second questions. Hey, Josh, how about you? Want to ask your question?
Yes, thank you. Hi, Pleiadian Council and everyone. Thank you all for this interaction.
Hello, welcome, yes.
I've received information about how various media and influences indirectly and directly affects our imagination with their information and content. And knowing that the imagination is linked to our livelihood, our lifestyle, and everything that we create, I was wondering if there are multiple techniques to reverse this effect or unhijack our imagination from those various practices.
Can you be a little bit more specific about which such practices? You're referring to certain subliminal ideas that your media and entertainment is suggesting to you.
Yes, ideas such as, or various ideas of how we talk to each other or what we think about each other, ideas keeping us in the mind. Yeah.
All right. So, well, the general idea is to then make sure you disconnect as much as you can from so much of your media and only bring in those influences that you know to be of a certain vibration. And well, when you come to explore your imaginal realm in your own right, you can see how some of these archetypes manifest. For example, one of the greatest stories, and of course, now this isn't even something new. Even we are saying that ancient stories and myths are to an extent distorted. This idea of punishment is something that comes up very often. And so you punish yourselves because the conditioning in these stories has led you to believe that punishment serves the purpose. And when you can witness these stories play out in your imagination or in your dreams and become conscious of that and come to change them, come to recreate new images of eternal forgiveness, then you can truly, again, unprogram all of this. You may want to, in your imagination, simply ask for the distortions to manifest. Allow for these different things to show themselves to you in your daydreams, and you will come to experience them directly and be given an opportunity to change them. You will also find that naturally they manifest through your dream states.
Wow, thank you greatly. This is definitely going to help.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much. So, Laurel has a question about her celery juice smoothie that she has been doing for to help her facial eczema, but it's also a heavy metal detox.
Yes.
And she's just wondering how effective it is to do that celery detox. Is it helping her? And I mean, would it help all of us to detox heavy metals?
Yes. Yes, it is working. You may not be feeling it that consciously, but it is most certainly working. And this is something that, yes, all of you could benefit from. A heavy metal detox is something that almost everyone on your planet needs to varying extents. And again, we've also suggested this idea of cilantro juice and chlorella as a very powerful way to amplify this heavy metal detox. And even an ionic foot bath, if that is something available to you in your area, is something quite helpful as well.
Cool. Could you just review the cilantro juice and chlorella? How often and how much cilantro juice? Chlorella.
Gradually increase over a period of time. Drinking the cilantro juice and the chlorella at the same time. Actually, beginning by taking the chlorella perhaps a couple of days before you start to take the cilantro, and doing it for a period of about 21 days or more for some individuals. And before you do this, you must again make sure that any mercury-filled amalgams are removed from your mouth.
Okay, and is it like a cup of juice a day and like a teaspoon of
Yes,
chlorella?
yes, that will do. Though again, you may want to look up more specific protocols for your body type.
Hmm. Body type, you mean like blood type or how tall you are? How?
Yes, more of how your body mass is concerned. That will affect your necessary dosage.
Okay, great. Okay, so I've got a question from Alyssa here. Alyssa, sweetie, I'm scrolling up. It's a long one. Okay, here we go. Okay, many channels and astrology talks about something huge in the collective coming this fall, as well as something huge happening the end of December. One Ayurvedic astrologer that also predicted the virus. Oh man, sorry, I scrolled up too fast. Oh yeah, that also predicted the virus also talks about food resources becoming less and that we need farmers to grow food. I'm interested in what information you have on what events are happening in these dates and how to prepare ourselves. Also, in these very crazy times, where will it be safe to be? I know that many light workers were drawn to be in Patagonia. Okay, you've got the eclipse gathering in the end of the year 2020. When I first heard about the gathering a year ago, I got chills and had the feeling that something huge will happen globally, and Pachamama calls her children to be in the jungle in that time, so that we can be protected by the jungle and co-create the new earth with the wisdom of the indigenous people. Now I am even wondering if it will be safe to travel through South America during all of these happenings. That was long. Did you get that?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
All right. So, yes, the changes coming to your world are vast. And this year, especially in your United States, the political unrest will continue. And globally, the lockdown and restriction will continue. When you have windows to travel, it is important to land somewhere where you are generally comfortable staying for an indefinite period of time. So allow that to inform your decisions. It is potential that food shortages begin to affect new areas in some regions in North America, Asia, and of course, this is already the case in many parts of the world where it may become more extreme. Also in Europe, this is potential. This timeline can be averted, however. You can take action steps to, again, ensure your own safety and encourage others to do the same. and to diminish the fear-based energies, and that may not happen. The economic structures are due to face some serious changes. And so this is something that may occur as the retrograde planets continue to move through these last degrees of Capricorn and unite and have all of these interesting parties. You may find that the final Passover between your Saturn and your Pluto in Capricorn, when Saturn goes direct again, may be a very challenging moment in which you are able to witness a bit of what is going to continue in the future. And so understand that your assets are not what they used to be. Your assets are much in alignment with this eclipse, those you consider family, because you will, in a sense, needing to be support each other even more in the times to come. And the way that you value things is being rewritten. So, well, yes, your money will still be worth something. And actually, if you put your money into the idea of cryptocurrency, you may find yourself a bit more protected. We would say stick to the bigger names of that field and understand that this is something that fluctuates so much that we are not really able to give predictions, and it is not something that we are really able to do, but we are able to say it is generally a good idea. And as well, what areas will be safe? Any general place where you are already experiencing a general degree of harmony and flow between those people and a higher degree of consciousness and less fear than what is the norm in your world right now will continue to be that way. So you know already many of these vortex points, and you may find that life is safer, flows easier, and is more harmonious in those places. Regarding the idea of going to the South America, well, again, it might be very beautiful for you. And again, you may want to get comfortable there if you decide to go. There is also a chance that this gathering does not happen at all. So be, in a sense, prepared for that. The South American countries will continue to experience the same sort of unrest that they have been experiencing. The country of Mexico will actually be a bit easier to navigate than the rest. And of course, there are many pockets within your United States where things will flow relatively easily. Actually, many of the indigenous communities in different parts of the world will experience the times to come as a relief. So we hope that answers some of these questions. And again, that following eclipse, half a year from now, will be an even more powerful moment. And as Jupiter and Saturn meet in Aquarius, there is a initiation into the new Earth, the new equal Earth that will happen. And well, we wouldn't suggest that you really have anything to fear. Again, it is those parasitic entities that are going to lose their power and are creating this detox syndrome of fear exploding. And this will continue, and that will be the highest point of die off, you could say. And from that point forward, your 2021 and onward, you can come to experience more harmony in many ways, while those fear-based energies will continue to die off. You can use that time to set a foundation for yourself so that you may remain safe in the times to come.
Wow, thank you.
Yes, sir, thanks to you as well. And Sarah, was there a question submitted through the idea of the Patreon?
Yes, through Patreon. Let me go ahead and get that question here. Oh, one moment. Finding it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you sent it to me. Here it is. All right. So this is about out-of-body experiences and being taken to spaceship. Okay. In out-of-body experiences in which I have been on board craft on the table being examined, I am also having my attention located elsewhere in additional fields where other scenarios are playing out. My question is, do the ETs themselves have the technology or capacity to do this? To, from the location of the craft, alter my brainwave patterns to limit my awareness of what is happening while directly there? And if yes, what is the means by which they do this? Can they see and communicate with me while I am experiencing in these other fields? How? Do you understand that?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
All right. So when you are having these experiences with extraterrestrials, you are reaching these higher dimensional planes. And again, this is something you are consenting to at a soul level in order for these upgrades and transmissions to occur. Now, when you are in this higher plane, again, you are still present within your physical body, and you are experiencing it as out of body because there is a blend of many different parallel realities. So you can, in these experiences, know that it is much like a meeting point between many different soul aspects, that in those moments, you could say that they are installing the software from certain soul parts. So as you are having parallel experiences as an extraterrestrial in many dimensions, oftentimes what they are doing is making your system more acclimatized to those energies so that they can come with you into your life. And you may find that, yes, many different dream-like memories and experiences are happening all at the same time. And this is something that can continue. The more you live your life in a flow state, you can be aware of experiences you are having in other planes, experiences you are having with different spirits in other planes and with other beings, other soul aspects of those you are meeting in your physical life. You may be interacting with similarly in other dimensions as well. So again, be open. And well, it is a technology they use that does have some of physicalized form in a sense, though it's also the consciousness technology of simply being in that higher state. When you really ascend to these fifth dimensional and beyond states of being, you can be aware of many parallel energy streams and time space realities at the same moment, in the same now experience.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, we have another question from Tess, and then Ivy, and yeah. So go ahead, Tess.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Pleiadians again. So
Hello,
I know
yes.
I know I'm asking a lot of conspiracy stuff, but I have one more question. It's a two-part question, but one of them
right.
is about Trump. I know a lot of people are going into this belief that he is saving or taking the cabal or Illuminati system down.
Yes.
But I did believe that, but then I since have believed that it's a psyop, and that
Yes.
he's actually the Illuminati is actually part of the Satanists, and he's actually part of something called the Luciferians, and he's actually replacing one bad agenda with another bad agenda and pretending to be a sort of savior. Is there anything you can say on that, please?
Yes. Well, you have said it quite well yourself. So there is a grain of truth to this idea of the conspiracy many call the Q, and that is that Trump is not part of the same dark force that has been ruling for some time. He's part of a different one. And the terms that you have used as Satanist and Luciferian are, in a way, quite fitting, for they are representing different aspects of this same negative force that are competing with each other. Because again, you must understand the idea of negativity itself is that of division and separation. And so positive energy unites. Positive energy allows different groups to come together as one, whereas negative energy divides the groups into different sorts of pockets that are battling with each other and, in a way, negotiating with each other. So yes, there is this deep state, and all of the conflicts that have been occurring in your world have been occurring in a way orchestrated so that they can harness the fear-based energy to gain greater control. And some of these have also been disputes between the sort of conflicting and conspiring dark forces that unite for the purpose of taking power over the masses. But now what is occurring is because the incoming light is so strong that there has been a shift of power within even those dark forces. And so in this sense, you can be thankful that Trump is disrupting the normal flow of events, yet he is at the same time representing a very dark force as well. And well, the positive aspect of this is that the being, you could say, is much more transparent about their negativity. It is much easier to see now. And simultaneously, this allows for, yes, what you have described as a psyop to, in a way, hack into the consciousness of many who have not believed the mainstream narrative the whole time and cloaked this being as an angel in disguise, when again, really, we would say there is no such thing as a sheep in wolf's clothing or a messiah in wolf's clothing. It is what it seems to be. And there is actually a, again, negative energy parasite we talked about in a transmission about 2 weeks ago that latches onto people as they come in contact with this conspiracy theory. And it, in a way, benefits from it and attempts to keep things the way they are through tapping into these individuals who are, to an extent, very open in their consciousness and feeding them this misinformation and spreading it. So dispelling this in the ways that you can by being a speaker of truth in the way that works for you is very helpful, and making sure that you, again, stand for a full disclosure in your own way and disclose as much as you can, again, while always remaining open to the uncertainty that so much of what you are seeing is a partial truth. And if you can take the information in without believing it, you can put together the piece of a puzzle in a different way and then come to see it from a higher perspective. And then by truly detaching from the whole play of illusion of your physical reality, coming into these higher dimensional states of consciousness in order to contact us or other beings or even your own higher self, you can receive messages that, in a way, organizes all of the information you are taking in. But if you choose to start believing one train of thought or another, or putting too much weight into it, it blocks that higher self, your organizing higher mind in connection with your higher self, from actually showing you the truest overlay. Does that make sense to you?
Wow, you just confirmed everything that I knew so deeply. It's a really powerful transmission. Thank you so much. And I believe that this is going to help many people.
Oh, we do hope so.
Thank you. The second part I wanted to ask was about the 144,000. I keep hearing this number from different sources, and it means different things to different people. And I'd like to hear what your take is on the 144,000, please.
Yes. Well, the way we see this is it is actually a metaphor for your frequency. The general high frequency that the human body can vibrate at is 1,444, or rather, yes, that number. It is a bit hard to put into language at the moment. 144,000 cycles per second. And so when more people are vibrating at that frequency, it is opening a gateway for the higher consciousness to emerge. And so, well, truth be told, there is much more than this number of people who are awakening to higher consciousness at your time. You have already surpassed that number in your general populace. And yes, you can continue to awaken the masses simply by being awake and being open and being expressive of love yourself.
So is 144,000 more like when people reach that frequency, that's the sort of the tipping point for when ascension is going to occur?
Yes, when more people, when the majority of people are vibrating at that frequency, then ascension can occur at a planetary level.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being such a amazing channel and bringing so much light and knowledge and truth and wisdom and love to this planet. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh, our great love and thanks to you as well, and the reflection is shared.
Great. And Christina, go ahead and ask your second question.
Hey again. Hey, Pleiadians.
Hello, yes.
Yes, so I'm kind of curious to hear your insights about the dreams. In my case, for example, I do not remember my dreams. You know, it's weird. Just really, really, I do remember a dream. Do you know what's that about?
Well, to an extent, it can be not actually relevant for you to remember your dreams, or perhaps you are having such intense experiences in your dream time that they cannot be exactly translated into your physical world. Though there is much you can do to change this. And for one, it is, again, being able to tap into that dream state frequency without sleeping. So the more time that you alter your own brainwave state to reach the theta frequency, the more wakeful you will be in that frequency when you dream. Another thing is making sure that you take a dream journal, writing your dreams down or speaking them into a recorder as soon as you wake up. And even before that, making sure that you do not move as soon as you are aware that you are awake. And in that way, taking a moment to go back and retrace your steps so that you can perhaps gain a different insight about your dreams. And it helps for some people to understand that what you experience as a dream actually takes place over a very short period of time, while it appears like a long time. So in this sense, you don't actually need to be asleep and in that deeper state for very long in order to remember a dream. And of course, there are different plants that you can take that can increase the likelihood of remembering your dreams. And those include valerian and most powerfully, a Mexican dream herb.
Okay, but this is connected with my childhood because as well I don't remember my kind of experience from my childhood as well, neither my dreams, neither my kind of past experience. And this is kind
Well,
of weird, you know, when you see other people talking about their childhood. In my case, it's kind of blank.
in the case of remembering your childhood, it is more having to do with having resistance to remembering certain emotions and certain experiences you had. So there's a bit of a different solution there. And generally, it comes with ending a pattern of numbing out or escaping emotions and being able to sit with them, being able to sit with them and make the appropriate love-based choices in spite of them. And with time, you will be able to, again, slowly and gradually recover memories and experiences you have had back then.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you
love,
very
and
much.
thanks to you as well.
Great, Ivy, you're next, but I've got a question from Emily, which is her first question, so I'm gonna ask it. Emily's wondering, is there an ultimate way of being that is available right now which allows immediate manifestation or moving of objects without touch?
Yes. What we will first speak to is that this can often happen on its own accord. As you are shifting between many different parallel realities, you can sometimes accidentally shift between realities in which an object is in one location and one in which it is in another. Sometimes this can also have to do with those fairies or elemental spirits playing tricks upon you. And this kind of happens unconsciously. So again, the thing you would generally have to understand about being able to move objects would be that you are not actually moving the object, you are changing the vibration of the object, and that location is more of a variable, a quality of the object than the object being in one place in time. So it has more to do with connecting with the object and shifting into a parallel reality in which the locational variable of that object has changed. So this is something you can experiment with if you would like, if it is really part of your excitement. Though we do always say about these more extraordinary gifts, is that you must really question what is of most value for me. For if this is only a show to demonstrate how magical you are, it may be fueling an egoic purpose more than it fueling a developmental purpose of the collective, of the whole.
Thank you. Um, Great. Ivy, do you have a second question?
Yeah, I felt called to ask you about if you could speak a little bit about um, the twin flame relationship and soulmate relationship, and just wondering if that's more of a human construct or if if there are sort of soul contracts that we come onto this earth with, and how we can open ourselves up to finding these relationships.
All right. Well, yes. First of all, what we would say is all is one and the one is in all. And so you are at one with every being around you. And the most important thing, first of all, is to be able to greet everyone in your life as if they were your soulmate. For the moment you are together in connection, you are aligned in energies and you are showing up in each other's reality for a very powerful and co-creative purpose. And so that ability to show up in unconditional love fully is very much related to your ability to manifest these sorts of relationships. Now, all right, so again, you are part of an oversoul that has many other souls within it. And sometimes what you see as soulmates or twin flames is a member of the same oversoul, that you are part of that same soul makeup. And in that sense, you are part of the same soul makeup as also these ideas of past and future lives as well. Now, the idea then becomes twisted into this concept of a twin flame. And inherent in many of the teachings of twin flames and the experiences of twin flames is the sense that the other is another half of your soul, and together you become whole. And when you view things from this perspective, it is actually a separation based and therefore a fear based mindset that prevents you from feeling your inherent unity with your higher self and with your source that is always present. And so these relationships feel very intense because through the lens of the other person, you gain an experience of what it's like to be with your higher self. But it is always one that is subject to create chaos because the natural human ups and downs of relationship are then experienced as a connection with followed by an abandonment from your higher self. And so twin flames relationships will always be chaotic and can lead you in its wake to realize that you are whole with your higher self, and while you need to relate to someone and something at all times, really, you do not need another person to affirm your oneness with your higher self. When you know yourself to be at one with your source and your higher self, then you can come to manifest truly harmonious relationships. And in general, yes, the ones that are most lasting are with other souls that are a part of the same oversoul makeup that you are a part of. And it will feel like you are at home with yourself because there is that deep soul level connection, though you must, in a sense, restore your sense of wholeness before you can manifest a harmonious relationship.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, our thanks to you as well.
Great. I
We
think
could
we're
answer
ready.
one more.
Yeah. Well, Laurel has a question about people being abducted and being experimented on with negative effects. Is this true?
It happens in very rare cases, but many of the experiences that are interpreted as negative are simply experiences with these gray extraterrestrials who, again, as we have said many times, have lost the ability to connect with emotions and therefore do not understand the emotion of fear. And so they do not understand the experience of trauma and the fear that they provoke in humans through interaction. And so the trauma and the negative effects of these interactions were accidental for the most part. There are certain negative extraterrestrials out there, but in general, you must powerfully invite them here to have that interaction and experience. So that is all we would say about that.
Great. Thank you so much, Pleiadians, for being with us today.
Oh, well, we thank you. We thank each and every one of you for choosing this interaction and co-creating this transmission, for you are serving all that is through these reflections and many others who will come to hear this and benefit from this energy and these messages. It is a pleasure to meet you. We thank you all very much. And our closing message is really an affirmation again of returning to that center of love, allowing yourself to know that the more time you spend in a love based state, the more energy you have to give. The way that you help others is by lifting them vibrationally to a love based state. And so any form of help that lowers your vibration into fear is not true help. And there are many in your world who, in these times, are attempting to do something for others, but are doing it out of fear. And all they are doing is adding to that collective hold and store of fear. And so you can release this now. You can understand that to be in a state of love and to do very little is better to be in a state of fear and do a whole lot. And allow this love and nurture to ripple out from you. Make sure that your love is expressed at this time. Do not hold it back. It is time to let go of the awkwardness of being in love with the world and being in love with each other. A love that is not, we're saying, romantic, but a love that is universal. It is time for that energy to be restored to your world, and you can experience it through your connection with us and with many. And as you allow that energy to ripple out in the ways that are unique to you, all that is will come to know itself through you and expand through you. And your planet may reach that age of ascension in beauteous and harmonious ways. And we are happy to witness that journey with you and through you. Our great love and thanks to each and every one of you, and we wish you then a very pleasant day, and enjoy the energy of this eclipse and this solstice, your closeness with the sun met with the shade of the moon for a moment in time, allowing for a great new transmission of energy to manifest for each and every one of you in unique ways. We are very excited for you, and we love you very deeply. So enjoy. We will continue to meet you at other levels, and whenever you wish to connect with us, you can each reach us in your own way by remembering this vibration and inviting us into your consciousness. Our great love and thanks to you again. Hello, everybody.
Back.
Thank you.
That was
How was
beautiful.
that?
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So
They told us
amazing.
wherever we go in the fall, we need to be prepared to stay there indefinitely, which I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay. But I was gonna ask another question and just say, oh my gosh, where should I go in the fall? And what do you mean by indefinitely? Like, come on. Anyway.
You'll know where to go when it's time.
I want to go where it's sunny. I want to go to Moorea with Heather. Is she still on here?
Oh, I think she left.
We might go to French Polynesia. Oh my gosh, I want to go
Wow.
there.
That sounds very fun, doesn't it?
Let's all have a party in French Polynesia, rent a big house, and just like, oh my God, something really fun.
Party.
Oh.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, Tess.
How's everybody feeling?
Wow, Dante, that was really powerful. With so much misinformation out there, it's just really such a comfort to know that whatever you bring through is just so pure, and it just really resonates with me, and it's just like brings me a lot of peace. So thank you so much for that beautiful transmission. Wow.
Oh, I'm really
for
grateful.
a lot of clarity.
Yeah, and thanks for your questions as well. It was very good to have somebody actually asking that and interacting on that level.
Yes.
Thank
yeah,
you.
There's so much craziness out there. We need to
coming back to the second coming, the second coming. We got everybody back pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting earlier, right?
Yes, it was crazy.
Woohoo!
Yeah, like it was all amazing. It's like it created like a huge chain reaction of questions and ideas. It's again, wow, I can't thank you guys enough.
Oh, so grateful. Yeah. Seems like so much connected this time. So many interconnected realms that we were exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jamaica, man. Oh gosh, I don't want to be culturally inappropriate.
Synchronicity wise.
I have a Jamaican spirit guide, so I have the spirit guide, full on Jamaican. He's got this incredible dreadlocks, and he rides around on his roller skates, and he's like really.
So, like synchronicity wise, I met up with a person before coming to the room that was talking to me about Jamaica and all sorts of things, and then you show and you bring.
Oh,
that's cool.
I don't know. All right.
Wow, I would love to go there, but maybe not now.
Maybe
I don't know where. Maybe not now.
Are you gonna stay in Guatemala for a bit?
Oh, that's a big question. I have no idea if I'm staying in the Guatemala because it's like on one hand relatively peaceful for me here, and I'm able to do a lot of work and self-healing and have this mystical lake here. At the same time, like I would really like to see my family and also just have better like relationship opportunities and playtimes, and I don't know, like I want to go and I want to stay, but I'm definitely not going until the channeling course is over in August, because I just feel like traveling and doing that at the same time is not going to work, and I'm really committed. Yeah.
Were you thinking about Asheville? I saw in one of your
I
posts.
was thinking about that. I mean, first I'll go back to Pennsylvania and chill with my family there, and then I was thinking even to go to Iceland for like that little window that travel's open for a couple of weeks or a month, because I have friends there, and they were talking about how the fall is like the most glorious time with mushrooms everywhere, and you get to see the northern lights, but before it gets too cold. And I've wanted to go there, and I was invited before, so it's kind of like, well, get a little trip in before the next quarantine. I don't know, and then I don't know from there. I really wanted to go, as Alyssa was saying, to South America, to Chile, in December, but I mean, Peru is totally closed till 2021. I don't know what the other countries are like. I've not heard anything about what that festival is like, or if they've canceled it or kept it, or what's happening. So I don't know if that's happening, but hey, life.
Yeah. Wow. Well, shall we sign off?
Yeah, sounds good.
Bye, everyone.
I'm hungry again. I also want to go swimming, but who knows?
Are you gonna do your illegal swim?
Maybe. I haven't done one in a few weeks.
Oh. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming.
All right, everybody.
Next time.
Ciao.
Are we Saturday?
Thank you very much.
Are we Fridays
See you
from now on? We're gonna do Friday.
I don't know if Friday or Saturday is better. Maybe let's keep it open for now and figure it out soon. We'll get a download about it.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. And thanks again. Have a great weekend, guys.
Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye.
Bye.